I want to have a brief conversation about this. I've had an influx of people saying dumbass shit. One of the things is you go straight to racism. I actually don't go straight to racism. You'll actually notice majority of the time I ask a clarifying question, one or two of them. And now I was talking to somebody and they were saying like, oh, you know, the first thing people go to is racism. I'm like, okay, how many times in your life have you been called racist? And they looked at me and they were like, well, never. And I was like, okay. So the people who are saying that everyone jumps to racism, maybe they're just actually racist. Because do you know how many times I've been called racist in my life? In the entirety of my life. None. Never. I have had so many coworkers, so many friends, so many associates, so many people I've known in my personal life, own family members. Never. I've had family members that are racist who like to say things like this. The first thing you say, everyone just calls me a racist. Maybe. I would wonder if you just are and you don't think you are. If somebody called me ageist, I'd be like, yeah. That one, I'm a little ageist. I know that about myself. If somebody called me a misandrist, I'd be like, I don't think I'm a misandrist, but I could understand your perspective as I talk about feminism and all those things. And I understand that there's some people who, and that's the conversation. There's people who think misandry is real, people who don't think misandry is real, etc., 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 etc. But racist? No. Nah. I've been called a white knight. That's what I've got. A $5 Indian. But racist? No. So, if you were walking down the street in your day-to-day life and somebody was like, hey, you have something on your face, and you're like, no, I don't. Nothing. And you went about your life. And then the next, some random person, hey, you have something on your face. You're like, no, seriously. Nothing. How many people would it take? How many times would it take before you would be like, fuck, better go look in a mirror? Because I'll be truthful. I used to make solely feminist content. And the aspects, the intellectual conversation around racism was not in my lexicon, was not in my wheelhouse. And then do you know what I did? I opened a book. I had two people I know that make content, and we're not even mutuals. One of them blocked me actually, because I was like, hey, yeah, I have like, I'm not white, but it's a long history of my family like denying their ancestry. So in order to know enough about it, I feel like I don't want to fuck it up. And this one woman made a video and it pissed me off, right? And now the thing about being pissed off is being pissed off does not always mean that you're right. Life lesson. There's many times I went to therapy, okay? Sat down with my therapist and she said some shit. One time a male therapist said some shit, because I've had male therapists and female therapists. And I would leave so angry, so unbelievably angry, because she was right. I didn't want to admit it. Sometimes it would take me 2 weeks to go back and then be like, okay, let's dig into it. But in order to do that, you have to put aside your ego. You have to be able to acknowledge that you might be wrong. You might be racist. And the little caveat, I'll give you a piece of wisdom here through all of the books that I've read about this. You might not be intentionally saying racist things. Now, grain of salt here, you very well could be. But there are a lot of people who don't realize how racism is really rooted into everything. Our laws, our schooling, the telling of history, but even my own life experience through that, and not understanding how deep colonization goes and all of the systems that are in place. Never once was called a racist. So I don't know, maybe for thought, maybe it'll piss you off for 2 weeks and then you can like go and open a book. There's a great one, it's called Me and White Supremacy by Layla F. Saad. It's SAAD. Great resource. It's a workbook. Open it, read it, and do some internal work. Because I bet you any money, you're somebody who needs it the most.